As a strategic aspect of public governance, ministerial governance is the formulation and implementation of strategic initiative policies to strengthen public governance, respond effectively to diverse and disruptive economic, social, political, and environmental challenges to deliver on government's commitments to the citizens. What's the scorecard picture from the federal ministries across the country in recent times? Let's find out on the Ministers platform. We'll be right back. You're still watching the Ministers platform. Let's find out the latest on ministry news. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has said the second Niger Bridge will only be open to traffic from December 15, 2022 to January 15, 2023 as part of measures being taken by the federal government to ease the movement of goods and services for the Christmas festivities. The minister made this disclosure to journalists after the Ember Month's meeting with stakeholders and contractors handling various road projects across the country in Abuja on Thursday.
Efficient, reduced travel time if we use the road properly. So sometimes you've heard that there are going to be religious events, crossover. Sometimes traffic might slow down. FRS is there to move it. But please be patient.
The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Dr. Zainab Ahmed, has affirmed that Nigeria is not broke, but the economy is only challenged on many fronts, indicating that Nigeria's economy is healthy. The minister disclosed this while presenting the performance scorecard of the ministry in Abuja. She also noted that apart from the federal government making effort to generate revenues to meet its obligations, she attributed the factors impacting the current economic situation to an interplay of external and internal causes, which she said are manifesting in several ways, including narrowed fiscal space due to lower than anticipated oil revenues and continuous subsidy on petrol.
Our debt is sustainable at 33% to GDP. We're still the lowest within countries that are our comparators. Unfortunately, oil revenue is underperforming because of the criminality, but recently NNPC has reported that that has been curtailed, and we're already beginning to see the pick up in the production volumes, which will mean that more revenues will come to the Federation. The revenue outturn is not enough. We're a population of 200 million people with a lot of demand on government, both state and federal. So we have to keep working to find how we can incentivize and enhance the business environment so that small, medium enterprises that should be the largest employers of labor and should be the largest contributors to our GDP. Because at performance of 8 to 9% of GDP, the revenue outturn is not enough.
The Minister of Transportation, Muazu Jaji Sambo, has said that the security features on the Abuja-Kaduna train will guarantee maximum safety of passengers. The minister stated this while riding on the train to inspect the security features and other measures put in place to protect passengers and also forestall subsequent attacks that may occur in the course of plying the Abuja-Kaduna corridor after resumption. He also said the train service on the corridor is 90% ready and that the remaining 10% will be achieved in the next couple of days for a full resumption of rail services.
Your purchase of a ticket requires you to provide a phone number and a national identification number in order to profile, because that is the beginning of the security checks. So at any point in time when a train moves from one station to another, we know who are on board. If you don't have an NIN, you are not going to board our train. It's as simple as that. If you are a minor, an adult will pay for you.
The Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar Aliyu, said on Thursday in Abuja that the federal government is seeking actions and ensuring an enabling environment to realize the Electricity Vision EU 30-30-30 of achieving 30,000 megawatts of electricity by 2030 with renewable energy contributing 30% for the mix. The minister, represented by the Director, Reform Coordination and Service Improvement Department at the Ministry, Titilayo Agbenyo, while declaring open the third edition of the Civil Society Roundtable discussion with stakeholders in the power sector, organized by civil society groups for good governance in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Power, with the theme boosting Nigeria's sector performance for overall socio-economic development of the nation. The Minister of Defense, retired Major General Bashiru Salihi Magashi, has attributed the successes recorded in the various theaters of military operations in parts of the country to the support of President Muhammadu Buhari. The minister, who stated this in his remark at the opening ceremony of the 2022 Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference holding in Sokoto, tasked the officers and personnel to remain professional and apolitical, particularly as the 2023 elections get underway. Nigeria and the Republic of Seychelles has formally ratified Air Service Agreement following the approval by the Federal Executive Council. Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, using the platform of the ongoing International Civil Aviation Negotiation ICANN event holding in Abuja, led officials of the ministry to sign bilateral air services agreement BASA, while the Republic of Seychelles Minister of Transport, Mr. Anthony Dejaques, signed on behalf of his country. During the ceremony, the two ministers underscored the importance of the BASA as it will promote air services and connectivity between both countries and equally enhance business and promote tourism. The Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment on Monday launched the Nigeria Trade Information Portal in fulfillment of the World Trade Organization Facilitation Agreement. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment Otumba Adeniyi Adebayo said the NTIP was an outcome of a collaboration with the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development with support from the European Union and German Technical Cooperation. The minister said the establishment of an online information portal was a step towards the enhancement of transparency, predictability, and a mechanism for trade facilitation reforms in Nigeria. The Minister of State, Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Sharon Ikeazo, has disclosed the plan by the ministry to hand over the Skill Acquisition Center at Agbezi Egbema or Haji Egbema Local Government Area, Imo State, to the Imo State government before the end of February 2023. Ikeazo made this known to newsmen in Owerri while on an inspection of the ministry's intervention projects located in Imo and Abia states. She pointed out that the purpose of the construction of the Skills Acquisition Center in the area was to achieve specialized training in commerce for the economic development of the people of the Niger Delta region. The Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, has expressed concerns over the poor conditions of inmates at Nigeria's postal institutions located in Ogun, Kwara, and Kaduna State. The minister, who spoke on Tuesday at a national stakeholders meeting on a review of the Postal Institutions and Remand Centers Act 2004 in Abuja, noted that the constitutional rights of the children in custody and their rights as contained in the Child Rights Act have been of major concern to the government. The stakeholders meeting was to dialogue on a bill aimed at addressing the challenges bedeviling underage inmates in the country. And finally, on ministry news, the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has met with states commissioners and directors of sports to deliberate on the National Sports Industry Policy (NSIP) at the meeting in Asaba, Delta State, venue of the ongoing National Sports Festival. The minister outlined the three main pillars of the policy to include infrastructure, investment, and incentives. He also said the episodic funding of sports by the government that was tied to sporting events will soon be history after the new policy gets implemented. The presidency is the highest administrative powerhouse in government. Let's find out the recent official engagements and activities from the presidency. President Muhammadu Buhari Wednesday reaffirmed the commitment of Nigeria to work with Guinea-Bissau and other countries towards sustaining and strengthening democracy and good governance in the sub-region and the entire African continent. The president will give the assurance in the course of a one-day state visit to the embattled West African country's president Umaru Sissoco Embalo was conferred the country's highest national honor, the Amilcar Cabral Award, and equally named a major street in Bissau, the capital city, after President Muhammadu Buhari. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law the Chartered Risk Management Institute of Nigeria Bill 2022, recently passed by the National Assembly. The act has given legal backing to the now defunct Risk Management Association of Nigeria (RIMAN), vesting the power to teach and regulate the practice of risk management in the institute.
We will continue to make significant investments in the provision of aviation infrastructure and facilities for safe, secure, environmentally friendly, and sustainable economic development of international civil aviation. Our country will also keep supporting the ideals and aspirations of international civil aviation organization and the achievements of its strategic objectives in collaboration with other member states of the organization.
President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday 9 arrived his home state Katsina for personal visit. At the airport to receive the president were the Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari, some of his cabinet members, as well as the head of security outfits in the state. After a crucial meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday in Daura, Katsina State, the central bank governor, Godwin Emefiele, told journalists that the Apex Bank is willing to adjust the withdrawal amounts but said the policy will go forward. Emefiele spoke after the House of Representatives demanded a reversal of the policy and summoned the CBN governor. The CBN on Tuesday set new limits on cash withdrawals at 100,000 naira and 500,000 naira for individuals and organizations respectively. Individuals are not to access more than 20,000 naira daily. The measure coming after the bank announced the replacement of higher naira notes will begin to take effect from January 9, 2023.
This is not targeted at anybody. It is just meant for the good and the development of the Nigerian economy. And we can only just continue to appeal to Nigerians to please see this policy the way we have presented it. We will be reviewing from time to time how this is working, because I cannot say that we are going to be rigid, but it is not to say that we will reverse. It is not to say that we will change timing, but whether it is about tweaking some amounts to be a little bit higher or a little bit lower and all the rest of them, we will do so because we are humans. We want to make sure that we make life good for our people.
And finally, from the presidency, President Muhammadu Buhari has written the Senate seeking the screening and subsequent confirmation of the former Central Bank of Nigeria Director, Human Resources, Edward Adamu, for the position of Deputy Governor of the Central Bank. According to the letter read on Tuesday during plenary by the President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, the nomination of Adamu is for the second and last time in office. The President equally wrote the Senate asking for the screening and confirmation of the Central Bank of Nigeria Deputy Governor, Mrs. Aisha Ndanusa Ahmad, for the second and last time in that position. You're still watching the Ministers platform. Let's now bring you keynote address as delivered by the APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the APC Presidential Campaign Council Town Hall meeting and dialogue with the organized private sector recently in Lagos.
Thank you for being here to listen. Only a paraphrase of what we are going to be able to talk about. But the journey is a winding and the road is slippery when wet. Nigerians stand at the threshold between indifference and greatness, prosperity and poverty, the future and the past. The door is ajar. Together let us open it so that we may cross over to the better side and secure for this beloved nation is final and it is finest destiny. The productive and beneficial thing we seek to do lie in the sole domain of one sector. They reside in the cooperation between government and the private sector. I see no conflict between the business community and government. Yet, with equal conviction, I believe the private sector and government should constantly be at war. They wage this battle not as enemies. They must stand as inseparable allies, combating the mutual enemies of scarcity, underdevelopment, joblessness, and fear. This bad thing breed. For this reason, to join you in this battle, I am honored to meet with you, the leaders, the business community, and private sector. Lagos is an appropriate venue to do it. You may have heard that I was once a governor of this state, if you didn't know before. I was once governor. May I remind you that when I first entered office, Lagos was a different story. I listened to the current governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. I feel thrilled. I thought my day was made. I don't have to. I don't have to address you again. He said it all. My team and I developed a blueprint, a master plan for Lagos. I can say that plan has been largely successful. We turned this state into a safer, more prosperous place where people can go about and about any legitimate vocation or venture, regardless of their ethnicity, religion, region, or prior social status. We did more than open Lagos for business. We opened the door for all Nigerians to join and experience the recent things progressive democratic governance can bring. We were not perfect, but we did a lot. In doing so, we work hand in hand with the business community as partners, sharing the same goal of prosperity and renewed hope. Well, as you might have heard at some point recently, I now stand before you seeking a bigger yet similar job. The pragmatic problem solving and teamwork, unbreakable teamwork that improves Lagos is what I want to bring to the nation. I ask you to help as the task ahead is doable but difficult. Here I will say something that captures the essence of our economic challenge. Each of us has the voice, this belief, before in various ways, and you own your words. Each time I say or hear it, I become humbled by the enormity of what we face. Yet, I'm also inspired that we can surmount this great challenge. From its very inception, our political economy has been imbalanced and in need of major reform. Our political economy is much too dependent on the export of raw materials or unfinished goods and the import of increasingly expensive finished products. Over the course of the time, gains from natural resource exports will prove largely insufficient to meet the rising cost of imports, let alone support even the most basic demand of modern democratic governance. The time is now to cure this lapse. It's a disease. We must cure it. And time is of essence, for it does not wait for any man or nation. We commend the work of a prior administration, especially the present government. They did their best. This government as performed with the patriotism and commitment during trying times. If you don't know it was trying time, I know. And many Nigerians know. But we simply must go further and faster. My experiences in both private sector and elective office afford me a special appreciation of economic potency that close collaboration between government and the business community can bring. Allow me to share a few ideas that provide some insight into my vision for a more prosperous and secure nation, where hope is renewed and despair is rebuffed. Well, regular dialogue. All Nigeria must invested in a better future. We must maintain the channels and spirit of respectful and productive dialogue. At the same time, at times, what I say may help you. Other times, what you say may enlighten me. I must listen. We must always talk and converse with the best of intentions, just as this open door policy is with me before the election. I shall continue to honor it, and after the election, I will continue to respect it. To revive the industry, yes, we have to. We shall bring the nation's industrial policy to life. Key to this is our aim to create major and minor industrial hubs in each of our geographical zones. We created this geographical zone artificially so that we can communicate and grow faster from bottom up. We shall not be satisfied by bolstering traditional sectors. We will foster productive excellence in new areas such as light manufacturing and Nollywood entertainment sector through active participation in digital economy. We shall make Nigeria a leader instead of a bystander. This is in the fourth industrial revolution. We must target, and we will, I assure you, target growth at very least. We must achieve GDP growth of minimum 6%, if not 10% per annum. Promote agriculture. We shall continue to press reforms in the sector that will increase productivity, improve farm incomes, while lowering food prices and bring enough food to the table of ordinary people. Power. Nigeria I am determined. Dear Nigerians, I am determined, I repeat, to give you the affordable and reliable power you need to drive your businesses in a way that lifts the entire economy and ordinary person. We must produce. We cannot produce without constant electricity. It's crucial. And we have what it takes to bring this electricity to you all. We have the gas. We have the sun. We have the wind. We have the water. What are we waiting for? Therefore, we must produce and buy. We must produce. Please note, then buy Nigeria. We see a consumer credit revolution. Work in concert with the banking industry. And I saw many of you here. I am excited. Very, very happy indeed. Led by the CBN, we must establish affordable credit that enables the purchase of more cars made in Nigeria. The construction of more homes built in Nigeria. Bring the money home. The standard of living rise and strengthens. The business sector shall increase in so many folds. Build Nigeria. We must continue with the expansion of infrastructure commenced by the current government. From our roads and ports, you've learned of the deep sea port. It took a while. It took strong determination and perseverance for me standing before you here to start the dream and realize the goal of that seaport. Continue the expansion of the infrastructure. Land and water management. All catchment area must be studied to stem humanitarian and economic tragedy visited on us by seasonal flood. Do we need a back-to-back channelization? Do we need dredging? Regular. We need secondary and primary drainage system. We need reticulation of our farmland. I have saved the most single important point for last. May I conclude with my thought on security. We shall continue to fight against insecurity by redefining our counterinsurgency doctrine and practice. Our response to terror, kidnapping, And violent criminality will be defined by the following elements. We shall enlist more people in the armed forces, security services, and the police. Our forces shall be given better tactical communication mobility as well as improved area and ground surveillance capacity. Through this and other measures, we shall identify, monitor, track, and defeat the evil groups where they are anywhere. Small inch of our land. We shall have no respite until they surrender or are ultimately defeated. What I've shared today is a brief overview of some thoughts on how to improve and protect our beloved nation. Town Shami, town hall meeting is but first of many sessions I would like to hold with you, the business community. Since you came as a group, I came as a member of your team. My esteemed and exceptionally able running mate, Shetima Kasim, will share his thought on key aspects of our action plan. Will we be followed by others who represent our now and tomorrow? You think young, you build young, you develop future leadership, you make a tomorrow better than today because of your faith and their capacity to dream, wonder, and believe that a nation is not driven by itself, but the content and the people who resides in it, who will not be satisfied with the average standard of living. A nation like Nigeria, the giant of Africa, it will move, crush all enemies, bring progress and prosperity for us today and tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
Keep.
On our Ministry Agencies and Processes in Focus segment this week, let's bring you facts you need to know about the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, is a regulatory body of aviation in Nigeria. It became autonomous with the passing into law of the Civil Aviation Act 2006 by the National Assembly and its assent by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Act not only empowers the authority to regulate aviation safety without political interference, but to also carry out oversight functions of airports, airspace, meteorological services, as well as economic regulations of the industry. The mission of NCAA is to provide aviation safety and economic regulation in the most efficient, effective, quality, and technology-driven manner to the satisfaction and benefit of all stakeholders, consistent with the highest international standards and the sustainable development of the industry and the national economy. The NCAA vision is to be one of the leading civil aviation authorities in the world. The critical responsibilities of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority are regulation of safety of aircraft operations, air navigation and aerodrome operations, monitoring of aircraft operating environment for safety and security, regulating the methods of entry and conduct of air transport business, advising the Ministry on policy formulation on aviation services, as well as the general public and the nation as a whole, setting of aviation training standards and approval of training institutions, and facilitating takeoff and operation of e-ticketing and billing settlement plan (BSP). The NCAA is a very strategic agency under the Ministry of Aviation and is currently under the able leadership of the Director General, Captain Musa Nuhu.
The fact that there are no strict laws that governs or guides.
As the 2023 general election approaches, some INEC offices have been set ablaze with electoral equipment such as PVCs and valuable items destroyed. What can the INEC officials do to check the vandalization and destruction of INEC offices? Nigerians prefer a solution.
The first thing they have to do is to find a way of providing security, because with security surrounding the offices, I don't think it will be easy for them to penetrate all the intruders. The Nigerians should make sure that the election holds, because we need a change. Causing havoc or panic, especially in INEC office, will not solve the problem.
The INEC office, they should employ security around there and around their offices. At least keep close watch, and also put security gadgets like CCTV, that at least if there is any set of people that comes here, they can see what happened. They can even deploy some scientific methods like maybe satellites and monitor it from a control room. At least they will know, trace where the people are coming from, the kind of people that came to burn the place. So that when they take some people, use some people as an example or scapegoat, that will make others planning to do so to withdraw.
Every INEC office, wherever they are in the country, no matter how remote, they should post some security men there. They should be on guard 24 hours. God, the first time, the second time, I think it's embarrassing that a whole nation like this, can face this kind of embarrassment. You know the cost of all these things. We all know so many PVCs have been destroyed, many equipment destroyed, generators, computers, and all their systems. I would have expected that first time it happened, they would have made some serious effort to make sure that all are guided. What are the policemen doing?
They ought to ensure that there's maximum security to all these INEC properties wherever they are sited. So I think by that is a way to go.
There's always going to be an adverse effect on us if we keep vandalizing our property. So they should look to what other countries, advanced countries, are doing. So in that manner, we should be able to impute more, probably technology-wise or something.
Some people are destined to sabotage the effort of the government. There's nothing government can do for them. They cannot be okay. So they are there to sabotage the effort of the federal government. Maybe they should involve the security agents to man those INEC offices. At least they should put some people there, some security officers, to man the place till the after election. Maybe they should station there, rotating them time to time. If they do that, at least they will secure the place for them.
Well, it is of the general opinion by Nigerians that the police and other security agencies need to tighten up security efforts to prevent these ugly incidents from reoccurring. I am Abisola Oladele. The program continues in a moment.
Our business on the Ministries platform every week is to exhibit the level of responsibility, accountability, and transparency of leadership at the ministerial level of governance in Nigeria. Join us again for more information on TV Nigeria next time. Thanks for watching.